Hi, I'm here again with Caitlin Young, and I'm Wendy Strgar, and this is my little home yoga studio, and we are doing the standing sequence for sexual health today. And this pose is called the goddess pose. And there's a lot of good reasons, sexual reasons even, that it's called the goddess pose. So we're going to watch Caitlin do it, and then she's going to explain both how to do it and why it's so important. Maybe while you go into it, you can tell them why.
So we're going to start with a wide stance. We're going to bend the knees. And we're going to keep a little bit of a tilt to the pelvis forward. We're not trying to curl it too much under, just more of a neutral position. We can take hands to the hips, hands to heart center, or we're going to practice today in cactus arms because it opens up the chest and the heart. But benefits of this pose are deeply strengthening to the legs, to the thighs, and to the external rotators of the hips, which are key muscles in sex, right? We're moving the legs out away from center, and we're externally rotating the thigh bones.
And because it's hard to see on you, I think you should talk about this whole zip thing, because it seems like you're not, when I'm watching you, you're not looking like you have to work at it, but actually you do really have to pull up in order to hold this pose, right?
You do, yes. So the breath is going to be in to just soften a little bit, but mostly we're holding. The exhale is going to gently lift and tone the pelvic floor muscles, draw the navel in and up. So there's that. It's important. It's in and up, and the zip is a good metaphor for that. So I'm going to come up. I'm starting to tremble. It's a lot of work. And we'll see Wendy in this pose. So let's take a nice...
And you could see how deep she was in it, but I'm not going to be that deep in it probably, right?
You're pretty deep. Okay, so important to root down through the heels. We definitely want to shift the weight back into the heels, and that's going to allow us to translate the weight into the back of the hamstrings, to cue the hamstrings, back of the thighs, and the glutes, right? So let's take the hands up to cactus.
Cactus.
Yeah, softening the shoulders. And we've got those external rotators of the thighs. Navel draws in and up toward the spine. Pelvic floor is toned. Shoulder blades are just kind of softening a little bit. And you can think about engaging the lats right behind the armpits. And that's going to tone the muscles below the shoulder blades to encourage some softening in the upper neck.
And so am I feeling with the rhomboids? Am I
the rhomboids a little bit, yeah. But it doesn't need to be a big squeeze, right? We're thinking more of an anchor below the shoulder blades and a softness to the back of the neck. And you can bring the wrists just gently back in line with the elbows. And just breathe into the heart. Feel the heart lifting up toward the sky. Let's do one more full breath. The inhale lengthens you. The exhale tones navel to spine. Beautiful. Inhale, let's extend the legs all the way up and relax the arms down at your sides. That looked amazing.
Okay, and that's not a lot. I mean, you are working when you're doing that.
You are working.
And you're really strengthening so much. And this actually, when you think about sexuality and intimacy, this pose is really key.
It's key, and that's the way you can build the strength in those muscles that you use when you're in any position, really. Right. When talking about sex.
But I actually was almost in a sweat there from doing that. So, and there is really kind of a lift that you're looking for at your heart. So you want to show it one more quick time, and then we'll tell people, because...
Yeah. So then lean down. So the shoulders stack on top of the hips, and it can be a natural tendency to want to lean forward. And Wendy, you weren't doing that at all, but I see that pretty commonly. And then there's this drawing down of the elbows toward the waist and a little lift at the back of the heart.
Which is actually also really heart opening, right? And that's where we receive love. So while you're strengthening your hips, you're also practicing opening that space to receive love.
Yes, so from here, absolutely. We're going to extend the legs, extend the arms, and internally rotate at the toes. So about the same width, we're going to take it into a wide-legged forward fold. Hands at the hips, navel to spine, very important here. Soft bend at the knees, especially if you know that you lock or hyperextend. And we'll take the hands to a block if you have one, or you can take them to the floor. But wherever you are, we want to release the back of the neck. And as we were just talking about, Wendy, the neck works so hard, so we want to give it a chance to just relax.
Rest.
The crown of the head toward the earth. And we'll spend about 5 breaths here. So I'm going to have you demonstrate, and I'll talk a little more. Coming up, important, we're going to flatten the back, engage the core muscles, and sweep all the way up again with a micro bend in the knees.
Okay, and talk about why this is a counter pose also.
Okay.
Partly because of the feet, right?
Partly because yeah, absolutely. It starts with the feet and really has to do with what's happening at the thigh bones. So the femur bones are internally rotated versus external rotation where we were in goddess. This internal rotation is going to create some more space in the lower back. So navel to spine, micro bend in the knees as you take your hands to block or the floor. And Wendy's been practicing this a lot, so she's pretty flexible here. So we're going to think about the breath.
And remember you were saying about like holding my stomach, not just like hanging out there, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, so once you've got the position, when you hold these 5 breaths, every exhale refocusing, navel to spine, pelvic floor lifts in and up.
Because it is easy to get into these poses and think it's all about hanging out.
Right.
But actually you are really strengthening here in some ways, huh?
And you could even relax the toes a little bit and focus on just sealing that outer edge of the foot down.
Okay, now tell me about when you come up, what you do.
So when you come up, you're going to start by navel to spine on an exhale, bringing the hands up to the hips, and we'll pause there for a sip of breath in. Exhale again, navel to spine, bringing yourself up, soft bend to the knees, all the way up. Beautiful.
And again, you know, even when you're in that bent over pose, you know, I'm learning every time I do this with you, because I would always just be sort of hanging out here with my belly, and that is not actually helping my back at all when I'm doing that.
No.
So
this is great for low back release. This is great for hamstring flexibility, and it's really a relief for a lot of people, especially people who have low back pain or tension, to get that internal rotation at the thigh bones, because the external rotation leads to that kind of pinching and tension often in the lower back.
So this goddess and this, what do you call this?
Wide-legged forward fold. Yeah.
Wide-legged forward fold. You could take 5 minutes to do this every day, and you would see some significant changes in both your sex life and just the strength of standing in weeks. Really, literally, huh? So try it, practice it, and join us again, because this is just the second of 4 poses in our standing series for sexual health. So join us again. See you soon.